Hey everyone, it's Andrew. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a video doing an unboxing and review of the Feiyue Lo 1920s in the EXO model with specifically the black and orange color. I recently purchased these through the Feiyue website for the full price of $40 while taking advantage of their 50% off discount that they have. And so I purchased these as well as another pair of the vegan leathers in the all black, as well as the canvas model of the low tops in the black and rainbow version. I've actually done videos on all these shoes at this point, but this is the last pair that I needed to review. And so what we'll do in this video is I'll just go over the other ones real quick because I did provide a pretty comprehensive summary or review in the rainbow video that I just published. But we'll just give you a sense if you haven't looked at all these. And then we'll go over the EXO model as well, as far as look, design, and features as compared to the rest that I've had so far. Okay, so before we unbox the EXOs, I did want to just show you the different Feiyues that I have so far so you can get a sense of what I have and we can provide a direct comparison of the EXOs to these other models. But on the left side here, you've got the mid tops in the white and black version with the blue and red stripes. These you can currently get on the website for only $20, so they're super cheap, super affordable. I personally like the white ones a little bit more at this time because it's summertime and they fit better or look better with clothes. But those are the mid-top version of these. Next up, we have two separate pairs of the vegan leather version. This is going to be their black and white model, and then this is their all black model. I've really liked these so far because the vegan leather is a little bit thicker, more durable, and it cleans much more easily. So I'm wearing the black ones at work all the time at this point, and they do seem to be working pretty well as far as breaking in and comfort after initially kind of getting around some hiccups as far as breaking them in. So those are those ones. These you can actually get on the website for $17.50. And then lastly, these are the pair that I actually just did a video on, and these are going to be the low top 1920s in the canvas black and rainbow version. This is what they look like. They also have a white version of this with the rainbow. Both of those pairs are $17.50. So super affordable, super cheap. In general, overall impressions with the Feiyues across the board. These shoes being $20, $17.50 for these. I don't even know how this company makes these at the quality they have for that price. They're extremely well made, and I really don't think you could find a better shoe at this price, which is really why I'm taking advantage of like their sales and purchasing these at this time. But that's all I have to go over these for this. You can check out the other videos, but now what we'll do is we'll unbox the EXOs. Okay, so these are going to be the Feiyue Lo 1920 EXO model in the black and orange version. All the Feiyue shoes come with this nice carrying bag that you can use for either like carrying stuff at the gym or groceries or whatnot. So definitely take advantage of these bags. They're super nice and they're actually very durable from that standpoint. But these are the actual shoes. So these are going to be the EXOs. These were recently released probably about a month ago. They have two separate color patterns for this. One is going to be this black and orange color where it's basically all black and then has the insole as like this orange aspect and then a little bit of orange on the top, but the rest of it's really just basically all black. And then they have a separate version that's going to be really like a slate gray that basically is the whole shoe is gray. I think the rubber on the front is black and then maybe the laces are black. I decided to go with this just because I generally can wear black more frequently versus the gray probably is less versatile from a color standpoint. But the main highlight of these shoes is they're going to be a little bit more durable as compared to the other Feiyues. Rather than being canvas, they actually have like a canvas ripstop that's a little bit of a thicker material for the canvas. So it should be more durable, less prone for rips or stains and that sort of thing. And so it should just be an all-around like step up for the durability and fit and kind of like thickness of the material as compared to the canvas model. But it should be a kind of not as thick as the vegan leather, which is a much thicker material. I'll kind of show you side-by-side comparisons of those two models. This is the canvas. So basically the canvas is usually a flexible material, much like a Converse. shoe where it's much more flexible, really just a thinner canvas material, and it's very flexible when you first get it, versus the vegan leather is this material where it's like a thicker faux leather material that's a little bit more thick, less pliable, and it does have to break in a little bit more, versus this canvas ripstop material is going to be like an in-between where it really is canvas, but it's a little bit thicker, sturdier from that standpoint. So that's kind of the differences across those three different models there. As far as the rest of the shoe, it's very similar in design. Says Feiyue here. The emblem on the side here actually is a full rubber, so it's a little bit of a thick rubber material that kind of like inserts across the entirety of the shoe, and it's not just like against it or a design feature. There is a component there that is rubber there and it runs across it, and it's very similar on the other side, virtually identical there. The other thing that they have here is on the back here, which the other shoes don't have. The majority of the seams on the back actually run straight down the back of the shoe. These run along the side, and there's a little bit more reinforcement as far as a cup on the back. One thing to emphasize with this shoe as compared to the vegan leather one is I did have issues where the vegan leather one has like a cup across here that's very, very hard plastic, and there's actually a seam. And what I found was on my right foot, I did develop a blister across like this area here from it rubbing. But the nice thing about both the canvas one and this model is you don't really have that. It's seamless here, and there's no ledge there, so there's no hard plastic that'll run across your heel. So it's a little bit better made from that standpoint. The other emphasis here is the lacing system here. So the laces here are actually going to be an integrated kind of like clasp mechanism here that allows you to basically like just tighten the shoe down rather than having to tie it. In general, first impressions with this, the clasp mechanism is a little bit of a cheap material. It's not as sturdy as I would anticipate for like a $40 shoe, but it is an alternative. We'll have to see how the fit is once I get it on my foot. But this clasp mechanism should allow you to put the shoe on and off a little bit easier, more quickly, and then tighten it up more easily from that standpoint. And then they do have this kind of like elastic band here that allows you to slide the laces underneath it. Sorry, it's a little bit difficult at this angle, like this, that allows you to keep the laces flush with the shoe so they're not flopping around, and that helps secure that the clasp doesn't loosen up as well. The rest of the shoe, it's got the rip stop, which we talked about, which is a little bit sturdier here, and then the rest of the shoe is really similar in design as far as the actual toe box in the front where it's rubber, and that's seamless with the bottom. This is more of a matte finish as far as the bottom of the shoe, which is a little bit different as compared to the vegan leather one, which is this one, which is more of like a shiny finish. This is like a matte finish from that standpoint. And then let me take out the insert here, but overall the shoe's a little bit stiffer as well. So it's less pliable as compared to the others, at least out of the packaging. There's a little bit more stiffness here. I'd have to check the website if there's any details on whether the composite on the bottom is a little bit different, but it does seem a little bit sturdier, hardier of a material as compared to the other ones. My only hope with this is that it would break in with time, because really the reason why I or many people will get these is because they're more of a minimalist shoe, much more flexible and have less thickness to it, and so you can really get a grounded experience, a lot of flexibility with your shoe, and that's really good for those of you that are barefoot runners or minimalist people that wear minimalist shoes in the gym. So I really like the Feiyues because they're so minimalist. But this is the other shoe. This is what it looks like. So that's really all as far as the actual EXOs. And so what we'll do now is we'll throw on my feet, get a sense of the overall size, fit, and look as well. Okay, so we'll try these on and get a sense of the overall size and fit. So this is the clasp mechanism, basically has this clasp that loosens up. First impressions with this, it does seem very cheap and very flimsy. The clasp isn't too sturdy, and actually what I did notice with messing with these is it actually can easily have the lace fall out. So what I'm suspecting I'll do is I might put knots at the end of these laces so that it prevents it from loosening up or falling off, because if you really have this fall off entirely, the shoe might not work depending on how much lace there is, so just keep that in mind. But we'll throw these on my actual feet now. And so that's the one shoe, and then here's the other shoe, and then we'll kind of mess with tightening these up. So basically, we'll just tighten them up with the clasp mechanism, and then you slide it underneath this elastic tab and get it secured that way. So that's the one shoe, and then what we'll do is tighten up the other one. So overall impressions with this, at least the clasp aspect of it, it is quicker to get on and off rather than tying. However, the mechanism does seem a little bit cheap and kind of flimsy, where I'm worried that it might not stay tight or it might loosen. So we'll have to see how that works with time. But overall, as far as the size and fit, I typically wear a 10.5. Feiyue only comes with either 10s or 11, and so the 11s typically are too big, have too much excess material, so I found the 10s fit pretty well, and I'll say that these do fit very, very well from that standpoint. My toe's at the tip here, but there's a little bit more space in these shoes as compared to the other Feiyue models, where I feel like there's a little bit wider gap across the entirety of the shoe, which is nice because they do tend to run a little bit narrower. And then the rest of the shoe really conforms around very, very nicely. And the material is a little bit stiffer and more robust, where I feel like it actually fits better from that standpoint, because a lot of times with other shoes, there's a little bit more excess material here. If you see right like there, which it becomes very flexible and the shoe loosens and slides a little bit. But with this, with the ripstop material and it being a little bit thicker, it does conform to my foot a little bit more. But overall, first impressions with putting my feet in these, they do seem more robust, much thicker material, much sturdier from that standpoint, which is the emphasis of this product as compared to the other ones. But now we'll just stand up and get a sense of the look, feel from that standpoint. But this is what they look from the side, the back, and then the other side. And so basically they're pretty seamless black shoes. Definitely much more sturdier and durable as far as feeling, as far as the sole. It's less flexible as compared to other Feiyues. So I suspect the composition of the sole is a little bit different. But the rest of the shoe, it's overall like a thicker material, more durable, more hardier, which is the highlight of these as compared to the other ones. So what I'll do is I'll probably just start wearing these and get a sense of how they perform. I feel like they don't really need to break in because it is pretty flexible off the bat, but they do need to kind of just conform to my feet a little bit. And then the other thing I'll test out with time is kind of like on off and everything with this clasp mechanism, whether I run into issues, because even with me just pulling this out, like this clasp is just like flying all over the place. It's not secure at all. So I'm not entirely sure what's going on here, because like literally it's just, if you don't have it underneath the elastic, it's just like kind of flopping around and doesn't stay there. And this one, similarly, it like kind of loosens up. So I won't be surprised if I end up actually either swapping out to laces only. The one criticism here though is these laces that come with the shoe are too short. So I can't actually tie the shoe lace with this, which is a criticism here. It's probably because they try to use this clasp mechanism rather than using the shoelace, so you don't really need as much lace. But I feel like this is a design flaw here when you have this cheap kind of flimsy plastic thing here that doesn't really hold it in place and loosens up when you just move it around. So I kind of think like that's a huge flaw and criticism of this. Like the one mechanism they have here of having this clasp was really not that great. So just keep that in mind here. I probably would gravitate towards the other shoes if I was gonna really rely on this clasp, but what I'm probably going to do is just swap out the laces and use it as a general like regular shoe from that standpoint. But clearly there's a design flaw from that. So interestingly, that's a problem even just in this video, you can see, but that's very easy to remedy with just switching out the laces to longer laces that can be used on a normal basis. But that's all I have for this video. Hopefully it's helpful. You can check out these shoes. Overall, I do like the design. The big criticism is the laces and the clasps are really just flawed from that standpoint. But I do like the durability, the thickness, the more robustness. It does give you a sense of something to use as compared to the other models that give you a just different variation there. So we'll test these out with time and I'll give feedback if I run into any other issues. So thanks for watching and have a great day.